Welcome back to Heaving Bosoms, the podcast where two best friends recap romance novels while meeting early 2000s books where they are and contemplating fated hostage situations.
Gonna love what we love, do it out loud. Stack our shelves with the clinches out. Shout it from the rooftop, can you hear the sound? Yeah. Live your best life, love it out loud. Love it out loud.
Hey HBs! Don't forget about our Practical Magic watch party this Friday, October 18th at 8 p.m. It's gonna be a spooky season treat, and I can't wait to see you there. This is part 2 of The Warlord Wants Forever by Kresley Cole. If this is brand new to you, hit pause and start the episode that we released yesterday for part 1. For the record, when we decided to do this re-release, I had forgotten that Sabrina and my infamous pasta interlude happened in this book's recap. And part 1 is where that lives. So if you want to experience it for yourself, make sure to listen to part 1. As we jump back in, our hero Nikolai has captured his bride, capital B, bride, in New Orleans, and finally sated his 5-year boner against Myst's butt. How did Kresley Cole make that hot and romantic? I don't know, but it does prove her wizardry. Now, the chase continues. Here we go.
And then he's like, you live with me now, I think, right? Isn't that what he says? He's like, I'm gonna...
Yeah. He's like, he planned to force her to live with him because he felt that was his right over hers. No. Oh,
that's from her perspective.
That's what she said. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, but it was super. Oh my God. Okay. So like he hump spray.
He
spray,
proposes to her.
Turning her to face him. Because my heart
oh my God,
melted at this.
You're right.
Turning her to face him, he cupped her nape and stared down into her eyes. Instead of drinking her or hitting her, low bar, he squeezed her against his broad chest with those muscular arms, which was disconcertingly pleasant. Curious, she let him embrace her, relaxing a fraction. In return, he lowered his head to kiss her hair.
Uh-huh.
And when I tell you...
I did a big swoon.
I did.
In
the midst of all of the problematicness of this book, I swooned.
You know what? I just met this book where it was, and I was like, honestly, if somebody left me with a 5-year boner, I don't know that I wouldn't hit them.
And like, I will say, this is the last time I acknowledge that there are problematic parts in this book because I was here for it.
Yeah.
You just have to accept that there are going to be things that I'm like, oh, it was great when he did blah, blah, blah. Or she did. Because to be clear, it's not only him doing fucked up shit to her. She does fucked up shit to him too.
It's great. So, okay. So then he's like, I can't wait to start our lives together. And she's like, but excuse me? No. That's not going to happen. Am independent woman. Never want to see you again. And he's like, no, now that I've found you, you're mine. She's like,
fuck that. And she runs. And he keeps tracing behind her to grab her. And you remember that sexy little gold chain that's on her?
Apparently was not just aesthetic.
He grabs it and it breaks for the first time in her life. She has had people grab it and tug her around. She has been held over a vat of boiling tar using this chain.
One of her it. Yeah, and it just, oh my God, it's like a Claire's necklace. Oh, it's like a Claire's chain.
I just had a visceral memory.
I'm telling you, we're meeting this book where it is.
Yeah.
2005, having your neck turn green with your Claire's chains. Yeah, that's the stuff.
And then like you like play with it a little too hard and then you hurt yourself because it snaps up and slaps you in your freshly pierced ears from Claire's. That was the visceral memory I had.
Yeah. Okay, so then she's like, oh my God, Don't listen to him. Don't listen to him.
Well, no, we don't even know that yet. So
Yeah,
what
yeah.
happens is he grabs it, breaks, and then she keeps running, and then he goes, Myst, stop. And she does, but she like plays it off like a cat that fell off something because she like is forced to do it, and then she like turns around like she meant to do
whips
it,
her hair,
and then like saunters back to him, and she's like wiggling those hips and like being all sexy and stuff, and then he starts to realize what's happening, and he's like testing it. He's like, kneel, and she does. Her knees just hit the ground, and I'm not gonna lie, I had a reaction to the term kneel. And like she hit that ground, and I was like, girl, I don't even need a broken gold chain for that. But any hoodles. Oh man, the things that you will say to, I mean, I guess this isn't any worse than our discussion of fucking pasta. So and then are you ready for like the horniest time?
Yes,
because
please.
She hits the floor, kneel, and then he's done a couple of tests because he's realized what he has the power of now, and then she is staring into his eyes, and then he says, "Come," and she does. You want to talk about coming on demand? She is on her knees in this fucking courtyard, and he's standing there and
humping
he says,
the air.
And then I highlighted all of these. Get ready for all of my little highlights, right?
Please.
She was staring into his eyes, her expression pleading when he said, "Come." One. And these are all skipped. Like we're skipping a lot of things, not a lot, like a paragraph and a half between these. But first orgasm. Once the bliss faded and she could catch her breath, she raised her face, parting her lips to ask, Again. Orgasm 2. Get ready for the next one.
This is my favorite one.
Come harder. Orgasm 3. And at this point, she's like desperate. She has her face all up in his crotch, rolling up on that log.
She's doing like, a big nuzzle on his cock. She's trying to get her lips around it.
Oh yeah, in the pants, and he still has pants on. There's no sex yet.
No,
he does not. This is not what's happening. So now, mind you, if we're counting, this is
3,
4 orgasms total.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yep.
And he's got 5 years with a raging boner.
It's amazing. Well, that's one of the things they talked about before. He's like, I have thought about getting my revenge on you every day for the last 5 years, but now that you're in front of me, I just want to be with you. I just want to call
together.
Call it even.
And she's like, fuck that.
Yeah. So then he's like, cool sauce. He grabs her up and then he traces her back to his like rundown castle lair in Estonia. And he gets her in the shower. And
then he tells her to go in the shower, and then she crawls in the shower, and I have this highlighted. And he goes, "You are my fated wife, and I'm from a time when a husband had certain freedoms with his wife." And I was like, horny town.
And she says, "You're not going to force me." And he's like, "No, in fact, you're going to beg me for it." He does the I'm going to turn the tables on you and you're going to beg me for it thing. I know. I love that trope.
Oh my God. And so then they're in the shower. He sits down because they have a bougie shower despite being in this fucking rundown nightmare castle.
Yeah, it didn't quite track, but I let it go.
Romance
he sits down.
It's fine.
Yeah.
He sits down and he's like, "Come kneel at my feet." So she does. They're all wet. They're all naked. She's kneeling at his feet. And he says, "Touch yourself."
Touch yourself like I'm not here. And so she does start touching herself, and she touches herself until she gets herself
lower and lower. And then he's like, put a finger in you, put two fingers in you. And then at this point, she is fully face deep in this man's crotch.
Okay, and this is where we get to the dubious consent. You know what I mean? Because he does point out later on, he never told her to give him a blowjob. It just turns her on more when she's masturbating.
I feel like commanding her to come in front of him many times and get naked. This is the dubious consent was not her going to Boner Town and licking him like a popsicle.
I would maybe say it was coercive. Like, no, you're right. But every act she does on him is dubious at best.
Oh. Yes, dubious at best. And not everyone, but like, especially in the beginning.
Except for the ones that
in
are
the beginning. Yeah.
No, the ones that are fully consensual are that. But anything else that she does to him is dubious at best.
And hey, you know what? I'm sitting here being like, I mean, like, yeah, that's not the dubious. All of this stuff. I
was here for it.
Zero problems with it.
I mean, and again, I think part of it is just that we get her perspective too, and we know that she's like dying over him.
Yeah. This would have been a very different book if it was exclusively in Nikolai's brain.
Absolutely.
But
yeah.
Hey, you know what? It was fucking great. It was hot.
I loved it.
Then, yeah. So they both come in the shower. He comes all over his belly. Mm-hmm. And then they wash up and go get in bed.
Yeah.
And he's like, we're just going to go sleepy bye. So they go sleepy bye.
And then they just sort of start playing house. Like, he has to be like, don't leave the premises. Your chain is in a safe. You're not allowed to even touch the safe. Like, you're, you know, like, he has to do all the things that will, like, letter of the law, make her stay. And they sort of start playing house. And it's adorable, honestly. She keeps on trying to give him shit. And he keeps on being like, I'm still your husband. So no worries there.
Yeah.
And finally, it gets to the point where, like, she really wants her chain back. And so she says to him,
I want this to be a choice.
Yeah. I want it to be a choice. Because her whole thing is, sorry.
She's always been wanted. She's missed the coveted.
Yes.
Or missed, and like people want her to be missed the possessed. And like this was never stated in there, but like in my brain, I was calling her like she wants to be missed the wanted. Like she missed the cherished, chosen. Yeah, like
absolutely.
Which gave me a lot of feels.
Absolutely. So like she's always throughout her entire existence used her feminine wiles to, you know, manipulate and win and best and do all of those things, but she hasn't experienced a whole lot of true intimacy.
Yeah, don't worry. I clocked all of those times that she was using toe sucking to be with that royal Roman emperor. I did clock that every time because, as you are well aware,
doing
I have
the toe
a problem
sucking
with feet. That's fine. I don't like. It doesn't matter who's doing the toe sucking. You know how I feel about feet.
I love a toe suck.
If I was not reading this for pod with you, that would have been enough down for me to DNF. I don't like it.
That's great.
I haven't DNF'd a couple of books lately that have had feet things. I just
it's growth
right over it, but it did hurt that this specific scene
and it comes back
came up multiple times.
Yeah, because he keeps on dreaming about her memories. But every single dream he has, he thinks that she's
doesn't
like...
let it finish.
No, because he doesn't want to see her get fucked by anyone or fuck anyone or whatever.
Well, yeah, because there's the Roman emperor. There's the time that she got chased down by like 10 Vikings on a beach. There's like so many... There's one time where she's like cursing this grave side. Like, all of these times. And
so he thinks he gets all the information and all the context he needs, and he like, you know, lucid dreams his way to the next one and then out of it because he doesn't want to. He's really jealous.
He's a big old jelly.
Yeah. So she says, I want this to be a choice. And so I want to make a vow. If you'll make a vow, mine is, or like, if you vow to give me back my chain in 2 weeks, then I vow that I will give us a fair chance. Like, I'll actually really put myself into this and think about whether or not I want to be with you legitimately.
And he's like, it's time to put the woo train in motion. Baby.
Oh, wait. But right before this, I'm so sorry, listener. We do have to talk to you about the first time they have sex, because Valkyries eat electricity and then they emote lightning as waste. And
is
so
this the field?
Yes, it is, ma'am. Yes, it is.
Does this? Yeah, you're
That's
right.
when they first have penetrative sex.
Yes. No, because he takes her home to get her stuff.
Yep.
This is also when we find out that Misty, our little baby.
Oh, she's got a lingerie fetish.
I'm sorry. Misty the Vampire Layer, as her sisters call her, which killed me.
And the Vampire Bride.
Yeah. Yeah. She has a little bit of a lingerie thing, and she tries to grab a weekend bag, and he's like, no. And he goes and grabs like this fucking 4-foot long trunk, and he's like, Pat.
Yeah, this is the one you need.
Because she can't say no to him.
Yeah. Yeah, she cannot say no. So then he gets distracted by her sisters downstairs, and she uses that opportunity to vault out of her bedroom window and just like hoof it as fast as she can.
And so he yells when he realizes what's happening. He sees her and he yells and he's like, Miss, stop.
And she doesn't.
So he traces to her.
Yeah.
Turns out she has some fucking like angry fucking girl band music rocking hard in a fucking set of headphones.
Yeah.
Like she must have one of those no skip Walkman.
Oh, totally. I had one of those.
Oh,
and
yeah. Those
tell you
were
the
awesome.
amount of...
Although I guess in 2006, she could have had an iPod Nano.
Oh, maybe. Yeah. Yeah.
Or
anyway.
like a Zune.
Oh, God. I forgot about the Zunes. Shit. Yeah.
Anyway, so she's like running and he
stops
tackles her.
And then it's like, so, okay, this is the next one where I was like, you did say that she would beg you for it. But he does. But he doesn't wait for it at all.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
He is just like his beast takes over and he can't help himself. And so he penetrates her. Yeah. And she's like, it hurts real bad. And then he bites her neck and she gets an orgasm from that. And then she's like, oh my God, I don't even care what's happening otherwise. But then as he's fucking her more.
Mauling her. It's hurting. And then she's like, tell me not to hurt.
Tell me not to feel pain.
And so he does.
He can't. I love the way he said it though, because it was so like in the moment, he's like, no hurt, no pain. So yeah. And then they're just like fucking like bunnies in this field. She's got
like lightning striking.
Oh my God, like, everywhere around them.
Oh my God. And he like, and every time he bites her, she comes. And so she's like dripping wet and like all of these things. Like it was really hot sex scene.
It was really hot. And then once they both come, the sisters are there again. God damn it.
Oh wait, hang on though.
Oh wait, I'm so sorry.
How the sisters get there had me rolling because he leans back on his haunches. He has her straddling him and like she's like, oh yeah, do it again. And she's like, why isn't he moving? And so she opens her eyes and it's because he has a sword to his throat.
That's
her
right.
sisters are like, what the fuck?
Yeah. And one of them is like, because she's like, don't hurt him. And one of them is like, he just violated you. And then the other sister's like, I'm sorry, did you see the lightning that we followed? Because she liked it. She was into it. Like, it's so bad.
Vampire Layer, Misty.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So, and like, also like what a scene they're making because they're covered in mud and scratches.
And blood.
He's left bites all over her. So many bites. It was a lot.
And she's like punched him in the face. Like it's a lot.
Oh,
they're all beat the fuck up.
Oh, but that's the thing. Oh,
they fight until they fuck.
Well, so like she says at one point
that
oh God, where is the thing? It's so important. I can't find the quote. I had a lot of things highlighted from this book, even though it was 140 pages. But turns out and maybe this happens later in the book, but so it turns out we do find this out is that she's only ever actually had 3 lovers and they've been long-term lovers. They've been like lovers for many, many, many years. So she did not fuck all of those people. She just used her wiles to manipulate people. Because at one point we hear earlier, and I am going to go find this because earlier we learn is where is it? Yeah. So this is a quote that I did. So she could handle weapons as well as most of her kind, but a sword and bow were not her strengths. Her preferred weapon was men. She manipulated them, played them, made them believe she lived for them alone in order to have them do her bidding. That was her MO. Fury had once asked her, why would you ever send a man to do a woman's job? Confused, she'd answered, because I can. And so she has always used her wiles to get men to do her bidding. She doesn't have to do the dirty work because she is essentially seduces these weak men
Mhm.
into doing the thing, and nobody has ever taken charge. She says that she's never fucked a warrior before. It's always been a wizard, I think, or
Mhm.
a Roman emperor, or like, no, it wasn't the Roman emperor. Anyway,
And she has a
doesn't matter.
scar fetish, which is like real great with this particular warrior. Yeah, and so she's
he's
like,
covered.
I just wanted somebody to like come in and take charge, and that's what he did, and I'm super into it.
Yeah.
It's
well,
great.
and the lore, so there are apparently essentially prophecies about all of these people, like all
Mhm.
the the Valkyrie and stuff like that. And the lore had always whispered about her that Myst will want the first man who can defeat her. And she had challenged
Oh
Roth and
yeah.
he had won. In
Oh.
her mind, he deserved to claim his prize. So
Oh
this is the
yeah.
point where we flip from Dubcon, heavy
The
Dubcon
con.
to yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it like let's to be clear, it has still been hot up until
It's
this point.
been fine with me.
And it does not stop. But that's the thing, is it does not stop being hot. They continue to have smoking experiences the rest
Absolutely. At one point, she like tries to fool herself into being like, I'm just gonna do the same thing I've always done, and I'm gonna pretend and make him believe, and I'm gonna seduce him and make him comfortable, and then I'm gonna fuck off. And so she's thinking
that's what she decides right after they decide to do the 2-week thing. She's like, I can play at love.
Yeah.
And
well, because she's like, she's scared. Play at love and act at seduction or something like that. Anyway,
yes,
so
something like that.
So he asked her to he puts out lingerie for her to have on when he gets home. And so as she's putting that on, she's getting real turned on, but like talking herself into like, no, it's like, I'm just pretending, it's fine. And then she starts thinking about him and she can't help but touch herself. So that's how she is when he arrives home. She's just in like a black bustier and garters and a thong, just
fingering herself on his bed.
Absolutely. And man, it's great. He says, you need to convince me to fuck you. And so she gets up off the bed and she walks to the wall, puts her forearms on the wall and just sticks her ass out. And he says, you make a very compelling argument.
Loved that. I was like,
and it's so great because like he's like, oh my, like in his inner monologue, he's like, oh my God, she's thinking about me. She's craving me. And then he's like, I wonder if she's craving more than just my cock. I wonder if she's craving my bite. So he penetrates her, they start having sex, and then she's like,
she
bite
asks
me.
Him,
you have to bite me. And he's like, oh, like all of my dreams have come true in
Horny
this moment.
Town.
Horny Town.
And I fucking loved everything that comes after this, because this man has the ability to trace. And you want to know how they use this ability? They use it to fuck against a Great Pyramid. They use it to fuck on a moonlit beach in Greece. They used it to go down on her underneath a redwood tree in the fucking west coast of the U.S.
It's so great.
I was like, same though.
Yeah. What else are you going to use it for? That and food. I need fucking and food are the two things I'm going to use tracing for. Anyway.
Yarn.
Oh, sure. Yarn. Yeah.
Also yarn.
Yeah. So then,
this brings up a point though that I have big issues with. Probably the biggest issues that I have with this man.
I'm buckled up.
In their agreement to do the 2-week thing, she does state it wanted to be a choice. You don't compel me to do things.
Yeah.
Do not give me commands. And then this man proceeds to spend the next 2 weeks whispering commands into her ear while she's sleeping.
But it's only to stay asleep so that she can't run away.
It is so not. He also is whispering that she won't have certain weaknesses, like her family. Yeah.
No, that's what he threatens to do that later.
No. Though he'd tried to use the chain as little as possible, he'd whispered to her as she slept that she would no longer have these weaknesses.
Huh.
Page 85.
Oh, fuck stick. All right.
Because I highlighted it because that was the first time it's mentioned that he's whispering her things. And I was like,
Yeah, that's not good.
I got a problem with that, Mr.
Yeah.
Cullen.
Yeah. Ooh, it's rough. Anyway, I guess I
Anywho.
just breezed over that.
Hey, you know what? We're gonna breeze on past it because I loved this book. So
Didn't
boom,
mind.
boom, boom. They played games. They played like Risk style games, and like,
and she she thinks his brain is so hot. She thinks his strategy brain is so hot.
We also learned that little boy has probably a bit of a praise kink because at one point she says, "My wise warlord, you make my toes curl. You're so good." And then he struggled not to come instantly, and my brain was like, "Praise kink, praise kink."
Yeah, it was great. Okay, but then of course shit has to hit the fan. So shit has to hit the wall. Anyway, so then so she wakes up and she's like, "Oh my God, I've decided it's him. It's always been him. I love him so much."
And she's like, "I can't wait to get my chain back and tell him I chose him."
Yeah, she's so excited. And meanwhile, he has had another nightmare because throughout all this, he's having more of her memory dreams. And he's a little bit surly with her in the mornings because he thinks he's watched her, like, you know, fuck all over history. And he's a dumbass. But so the night before, he remembers her, or he dreams her memory of putting on the lingerie and thinking to herself, "I'll just fool him. I'll just pretend the whole time and I'll get away." And so he only gets that one memory and none of the memories of her being like, "OMG, I'm in love.
Falling in love."
So he's big mad. And
sad.
Oh God, heartbroken. And so she's really excited when he gets home and he goes and like tells her that he's never giving her chain back. She doesn't she's not getting it back. And he's going to, in fact, use the chain to make it so she never thinks of any other man because and I think this might actually, to your point about the praise kink, his whole thing is she's fucked demigods. She's like done all these things with like all these, you know, men around history. Like, what about me is so special? Of course she wouldn't choose me.
Yeah,
so it's all from like idiotic
terrible self-esteem.
Yeah, idiotic insecurities.
And the stupid thing is she hasn't fucked any of these people.
And even if she did, shut your fucking mouth.
Should not be a problem.
She's at a different place in her life, you asshat. Not to mention that, like, and she didn't ever, so she's also been remembering, like, she heard tales about him as a warrior when she was younger.
She's always had a little crush on him.
She's had a tiny thing for him. And then she was like really sad.
He was like a celebrity. She was sad when he died.
Yeah, she was really sad when his army was overtaken, but she was still impressed because his people got 10 years of protection out of him before he finally fell to a larger force. Anyway.
Oh, and then she was also impressed because she finds out when, because while they're little chit-chatting and they're like bedroom talking and like snuggled up and all that cuteness, she finds out that he was bartering with Kristoff. As he lay dying, he was like, "You're allowed to turn me if," and then had a list of demands while he's like spilling guts everywhere. And she's
so
like,
great.
"I am so horny for this."
I am also very horny for that.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Love a good bargainer.
God.
Especially because I am so bad at it.
Yeah. Oh my God. Okay. So then, he is obviously like, not only am I not going to give the chain back to you ever, but I'm going to use it to brainwash you into loving me. I'm going to brainwash you into forgetting your family. I'm going to like do all these things that make it so you will only ever love me. And so obviously she's fucking devastated because she says that she's always been the coveted and the possessed. And like, he had the choice. He had the chance to give her the choice and choose her back, and he just shat all over it.
And he had promised that he would give her that choice.
I mean, yeah,
which meant everything to her. She mentions multiple times in this book that, like, as she starts falling in love with him, one of the things that she loves most is how she actually feels like he, like, was.
Listens to her and trusts her and like will give her the benefit of the doubt.
She's more than just a possession.
Yes.
And then he gets called away because his brother, this is the last day, his brother has been hurt horribly.
I feel like it might be a book 2. I don't know.
No. Murdoch is not book 2.
Okay.
Book 2 is a book that lives rent-free in my head because it's about a werewolf that has been locked in a dungeon for a really long time.
That's right.
Smells his fated mate and then chews his fucking leg off or his arm or whatever to escape and go grab her.
Yeah.
I will never forget that he chewed his own.
Yeah.
Ladies, gentlemen, and
people out there.
Babies.
Yeah.
If they don't love you enough to gnaw their own limb off.
Is it even worth it?
Is it even worth it?
Why are we
if
here?
you don't love them enough to gnaw your own limb off. That's why I'm single. I wouldn't.
I really am. I like my limbs quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So then she goes, all right, we are already 1:32. We're going to get this done. All right.
Oh yeah. We're like wrapping at the end.
Yeah. We're wrapping it. Look at us.
I'm so proud of us because it would have been really easy. We have been flying through this book.
I know. We've been doing a great job.
And we even have gone off on so many tangents. I mean, that pasta tangent was like a solid 10 minutes.
Pasta tangent was deranged.
Deranged, much like the two of these characters.
Quite. Yeah. It was book appropriate.
Yeah.
So then she is like, I'm going to claw the safe. He said I couldn't touch it, but he did not say I couldn't break it out of the wall.
She fucking bloody claws the wall away from this puppy and takes it home.
Yeah, so that she can hold it like with the cement around it.
Uh-huh.
So that she's not actually touching it. It's amazing. So she goes home. I don't actually know how she gets there because it is
no
idea.
idea.
And I love Kresley Cole just like yada, yada, yada's her way through that. It's great.
We don't need to know. Who gives a fuck? Go.
No.
She's in New Orleans now.
Absolutely. So then he gets home because, I'm sorry. So he talks to his brother and his brother's like, are you sure that you're, reading this right? Because I really don't think you are. And I think you fucked this pretty hard. And he's like, oh no. He keeps thinking about all of his things. And then when does he have the dream?
That night. When he realizes she's gone.
Okay, yeah. So he gets home, he's devastated because she's gone, and then like he sees the safe is gone too, and he's like, "Fuck sticks." So then he goes to sleep, and he decides
he has no choice because, to be clear, so vampires in this in this world cannot go out in the sunlight, which becomes a very big point later in this. Like, 10 pages
oh my god, I forgot about that.
And so, like every time they wake up, by the way, like just for clarification, they're waking up at like nighttime. They stay awake all night, boning down and talking and playing Risk. And then they go to bed in the morning.
Yeah. So when he's sleeping, he decides that he's not going to
shy away.
He's not going to lucid dream his way out of them because he keeps on picturing her face and how devastated she was when at one point he said that I'm going to start treating you the way that you deserve. And she read that correctly as I'm going to start treating you like, I don't know, a whore. I hate even saying that, but like that's what it said in the book. Like just a possession.
You're a hold a fuck.
Right. So he's like, nope, I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna see why she looks so betrayed. So he goes through all of her memories, and like one of them, she was saving her sister. One of them, she was getting revenge for a bunch of girls that had been
mother and child
killed. Yeah.
That had been killed.
Because she loved the child so much. And like
she was so innocent. She recognized Myst as a Valkyrie and called her, what was it? An
swan lady or something?
Swan queen? I don't know, something cute.
Swan beauty? I don't know. Yeah, and so he's like, oh my God, I've completely misread her and I'm the worst. So he traces back to New Orleans.
You are Nikolai.
Yeah, fucker. Dumbass. The sisters break her chain out again, and she's like, somebody else fuck off with this chain.
And she finds an engagement ring.
Yeah.
And of course, we learned that the Valkyries are basically
they're
crows.
Magpies.
Yeah. They're like, ooh, shiny, 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 shiny. So she opens up the ring and like everyone's like, ooh, ooh. And then she like fucks off with the ring up to her room because now she's sad, understandably. And I was like, why'd you take the ring? And she's like, fuck off. I'm sad.
Yeah. I earned this with my heartbreak. And then
because the note she left him was my heart for yours.
Oh, a heart for a heart. Oh.
Yeah, or something like that.
God, it's terrible. So then she finally is like, all right, I'm going to go outside the house now. I'm going to stop being a sad girl and I'm going to go kill some ghouls is what I'm going to do. But Nikolai is there. And so he jumps into the fray of these like 75 ghouls. And so then they start doing this adorable fight while they're mid-fight. Like they're bantering back and forth while they're just like chopping ghouls' heads off. And she keeps on being really impressed with like how his sword skills. And then he's like, oh my God, like she talked about wanting to, you know, stay in the fight or whatever. And I told her that I was going to put her up in a tower like a little princess. But like girl's got some skills. And she does that thing where she takes the sword and she shoves it behind her with a ghoul she didn't even turn around to look at. She just sensed it and then murdered it in the face. Oh, so cool. Anyway, so he's got a competence boner for her now, in addition to his love boner and his intelligence boner and all the rest of the boners.
And his sorry boner.
Oh God, his guilt boner is yikes.
Big.
It is. It's just knocking things down at this point. So finally, he's like, I really need you to like, let me make amends and let me fix this. And she's thinking about it. And then she gets scooped up by an Ivo horde vampire.
And it turns out that he's been turning demons. So now there's demon vampires who are like stupid strong.
Yeah.
And like basically unstoppable. And that's what hurt his brother. Like it's a whole thing. And oh golly.
Yeah. So then he's like, let her go.
And Ivo's like, you know what? I'll make you a deal. I will let her go. I will swear to the Lord that I will let her go if you stand in the sun. And the sun is coming. The sun is like slowly lowering. She can see it. And she's like, no, don't do it. And he's just standing there like,
because he doesn't even think.
Sacrificing myself.
Yeah.
And oh God. And then he just says in a low, steady tone, I love you, Myst.
Love you, Myst. And then she goes crazy and she does a big lightning strike Thor on them.
She gets lightning struck herself and everybody gets exploded.
Goes out of her. And it's amazing.
Like dying and she goes into the sun and drags him out of it into the shade. And she's like, no, you can't die. Oh my gosh. And
then her sisters get there.
And this made me cackle because one of her sisters goes, oh, for fuck's sake, he's a leech. Let him fricassee.
Yeah. And then she's like, help me.
Which she's never asked before. And then end chapter, and he wakes up.
And she's tending to him in Valhall, the Valkyrie sorority house.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
And they're together forever now. The end.
Yep.
Goodbye, everyone. It's fantastic. I loved this book. It was 140 pages of delicious.
There is a little nod in this last chapter.
Okay.
That is, you hear a howling, distraught man outside. And that is the hero of our next book.
Oh, he might be mid-chew. He might be mid-gnaw.
This is past mid-chew. This is well into the book.
Oh, okay.
He's already gotten her. The Valkyrie stole Emma back.
Oh, that's right. Emmeline. Yeah.
Yeah. And stole her back. And then now he's just sitting outside the gates like a forlorn dog. Oh.
Oh, no.
That's probably not how it's actually going, but in my head, that's how it is. It's just a grown man standing outside of this gate. Oh,
I love that. All right. What's your lady love, Sabrina?
Boy, howdy.
Okay.
My lady love. After my 2-week trip to England, which was incredible. My lady love is if you do not have 360 rolling suitcases, get you some fucking rolling suitcases that are 360 degrees. I have never had a set like that. And then I've always just had the pulley, right? And they fall all over all the time. They're just a pain in the ass. I bought a matching set of pink suitcases with pineapples all over them. I loved
love
them.
that.
There's a a carry-on size, a mid-size, and then the extra large size, right?
Mhm.
I would not have made it if I did not have those suitcases. If I had had just a typical drag it behind you rolly roll, this would have been rough.
We never would have seen
Traveling-
Sabrina again.
Traveling across the country was hard enough. Not the
Mhm.
country. That's easy. Traveling across the Atlantic Ocean, that's a rough travel.
Mm.
And if I had not had 360-degree rolling suitcases, I don't know that I would have made it. I would have
All
just
right.
laid down somewhere and let time take me.
I like that. Yeah.
So if you don't have 360-degree rolling suitcases, I will say they will change your life.
Get you some. They're
Also
worth
get
it.
like as a side lady, like as a part of this lady love, but like I said, get yourself a fun suitcase. Fuck it. You don't need a boring blue or black or green or whatever. I debated
It's
it. I
way
was like,
better
do
for
I
like
do I
identification
need-
anyway.
Yeah, but like also on top of that, it just made me happy every time I looked at them. I
Mhm.
was like, yeah, those are my pink pineapple suitcases.
Yeah, I love that.
It's
Yeah.
your lady love.
Oh boy, I have done a thing on the internets. I have done a thing on social medias. I have stumbled upon hashtag plant dad Instagram. And I do not know
Oh.
that I will ever be the same. There's also a hashtag plant daddy Instagram, which is delightful as well. But I have found this subculture in Instagram that is all just like awesome, like down to earth, mental health aware Black dudes who just fucking love houseplants. And I don't ever want to be anywhere else, honestly. One of my favorite follows is I pulled him up earlier. His name is The Plant Poppy, The Plant PAPI. And oh my God. I'll just read you his bio. It says, "Welcome to the intersection of my plants, kicks, mental wealth, and creativity." This man has a newborn that he adores. This man just dances around near his plants with his newborn. Like, it makes my heart so full. It makes me so happy. And he's really funny. There are a few other people, like a lot of times he'll mention other creators that he admires. And hashtag plant dad Instagram is a thing I didn't know that I needed, but it makes me just beam with happiness.
To be clear, the reason my phone is in my
Oh, I
face
know.
is I am currently scrolling everything
know.
that you have just discussed.
Wait till you turn the sound on and he starts talking about mental health while potting something. It's fantastic.
All right. Well, that's a new follow.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, every once in a while, his partner will come on, and I really I admire her too. She's really great. Anyway, so yeah, just strangers on the internet who also like houseplants sometimes make great follows. All right.
I support this.
Yeah. I have totally fucked my romance algorithm though, because now mostly all that they show me on the Heaving Bosoms Instagram is plant stuff.
I mean,
I don't hate it, but like also probably not super great. Okay.
It's fine. If your phone is listening, you're about to be getting a lot of really weird ads for pasta.
God, they think I love noodles so much in so many different ways.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and they're mostly not wrong. So
Hey, accurate. I realized that I did not eat. I suddenly registered that because I was reading this book up until the wire, like 10 minutes before we got on, and I realized that I didn't eat
God damn
because
it,
of
you did
that,
it again.
and so I'm hungry. Yeah. Oh fuck. You're right.
God damn
I have
it,
done this
Sabrina.
multiple times. But what it means
I'm gonna
is
start texting you beforehand and
I'm
be
about
like,
to
go eat a sandwich.
go cook me a bowl of buttery
Do it.
noodled pasta.
Do it.
And it
Do
will,
it.
in fact, only be going in one of my holes.
Ah, indeed.
And that hole is my mouth hole.
It's the one in your face.
Yes.
Excellent. Today
So-
for lunch, I had
Oh.
egg noodles with a turkey meat sauce that was fucking divine, as well as 3 giant spears of Chinese broccoli that was cooked to perfection. And like, it was a wonderful lunch. So noodles all the way.
Incredible.
Yeah. All right.
I'm probably going to make a pasta roni.
Fair. Easy.
Yeah.
That's really the most
Yeah.
important thing.
Yep. So love yourself.
Sabrina,
much
keep
as-
being a badass.
Oh yeah. I've already been thinking about loving.
Tell me.
All of your love yourself. So
Say it,
okay,
say
wait,
it, say it again.
no. We're restarting.
Oh,
Go,
okay.
go.
Keep being a badass.
And love yourself as much as you love keeping it to one episode.
Yeah. Oh.
I'm so proud of us.
Me too.
To be clear, listener, it would have been so easy.
Oh my God. I could talk about this book
We
for a
skipped
week.
so much.
Yes. I had to purposefully not take notes so that I could keep it to one episode. Okay? And we did that for you, listener. That's love.
Sorry, I did it again. I keep doing the thing. I think we're supposed to end after keep being a badass and love yourself. And then I always have a comment after it.
I'm fine
Okay.
with it. Goodbye.
Do you have
Oh no, I don't want to end meeting. No, I want to stop recording. God damn it.
You're gonna hang up?
Oh my gosh, thank you for listening to this week's recap. We love to hear what you think about all these books, so go comment on our social media or in the episode commentary channel on our Discord and tell us everything. Okay, we'll be back next week with our 7th Podiversary episode.
Heaving Bosoms is produced by us, Melody Carlisle and Sabrina Bradley. Editing is done by me, Melody Carlisle. Our theme music is by the incredible singer-songwriter Brittany Fonts, and our art is by the ultra-talented author Kate Pryor. If you like our show, remember to follow us on your favorite podcast app, rate us 5 stars, and leave a review. That one small action is a huge way to help the show. If you want to get in touch with us for advertising inquiries or anything else, you can email us at heavingbosomespodcast@gmail.com. If you want more of us, visit patreon.com/heavingbosomspodcast. You can also find us on Instagram at Heaving Bosoms, on TikTok at Heaving_Bosoms, and in our Facebook group, the Heaving Bosoms Geriatric Friendship Cult.
If we don't chat before then, see you Monday.